It's a beautiful morning, and I figured today we would do something light. I miss doing light stuff and poking fun at stuff. So, we were sitting around here and we always wanted to watch the movie Soul. Soul is a Disney Pixar family comedy animated film. It was released December 25th, and honestly, I think one of the better movies of 2020. Better animated movies, that is. Trent Reznor composed the music? What? Okay. I see you, Trent. The synopsis was, ever wonder where your passion, your dreams, and your interests come from? What is it that makes you, you? In 2020, Pixar Animation Studio takes you on a journey from the streets of New York City to the cosmic realms to discover the answers to life's most important questions. Directed by Pete Docter.
I'm the Doctor.
I didn't even know Jamie Foxx was playing in this until I heard the voice, and I'm like, that's Jamie Foxx. And everyone did their voices so well. It's kind of hard to mess up when you're voice acting little animated characters. Or maybe it isn't, because I know some people who just read frickin' dead.
Did you know that tigers have striped skin, not just striped fur?
What is this place?
FYI, I never watched any of those movies that the studio brought before this one. I know, I've always wanted to watch Inside Out, and I will get to it. Don't even know what Coco is. The story starts off with a teacher named Joe Gardner. Someone who is really passionate about music. Someone who, when he's playing, goes into the zone. I know exactly what that's like, because every time I play the piano, that's exactly where I go, and they illustrated it so beautifully in this animated film. As a middle school teacher, he tries to help his students find the passion for music. Some of the designs of the characters, though, make them look like they have tumors on their faces. Like the boy next to him and the teacher, they look normal, but then he looks like a frickin' hippo in a human's body. Just so uncanny when you look at him from the side. God damn. Like, this dude has a whole toilet on his frickin' face. Like, stop. Anyway, the teacher tells him, or principal, or whoever she's supposed to be, that he got a promotion and he can work there full time. Don't really know how that works, but that's what they say in the movie. Unfortunately, Joe doesn't seem too happy about this. You think he would be, but that's not what he really wants. What he wants is to have a career in jazz. This is something he's always wanted. His father was a jazz musician, and it's been his soul from he was really little.
A full-time job. Working man coming through.
Yeah, Mom, but
You're going to tell them yes, right?
His mother is worried about him because she's like, dude, you have a full-time job and you're trying to still chase being a jazz musician when they don't get paid jack. You're taking that job now. Of course, Joe's not really happy about this, and I feel so bad for him because I can imagine what that's like. Then he gets a call from one of his students. One of his students that looked up to him and became their very own jazz musician, a drummer named Curly. Curly tells him that there's an opening.
Dorothea Williams, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Congratulations, man. Wow. I would die a happy man if I could perform with Dorothea Williams.
Oh, well, this could be your lucky day.
Look at his mom in the background. Oh my god, she's like, oh, Jesus. Freaking boy. But he is a man. I mean, she's always going to be his mother, and she's always going to want what's best for him. And we're made to think that throughout this entire movie, she's overbearing and horrible, which it does really feel like that. She doesn't want him doing jazz.
My old middle school band teacher, Mr. Gardner. Call me Joe, Dorothea. Miss Williams. It's a pleasure. Wow, this is amazing. Joe.
I'd be like, girl, who the hell you grilling like that? Then she says with a sourpuss face, so we're down to high school band teachers now. Apparently they really need this role, so, you know, I wouldn't be trying to insult the people you need help from so that you could keep doing what you're doing, you know? But it just seems like everyone just walks all over Joe. It makes me freaking mad. Like, here you have this nice, decent man and everyone's just using him. But we don't have to feel bad for Joe for very long, because as soon as he gets on the piano, he shows exactly why he should be here and why they need to bow down to him. Another thing, I feel like a lot of the piano shots are mocapped or something, because if they had to animate all of that, that would take a lot of time. It would make more sense for them to mocap someone, their fingers and the way they are on the piano, because when they're walking in the real world or in their world, they look animated. When they're on the instruments, they look like somebody was in a suit and they mocap them to get the movements of someone really playing the saxophone or the piano or the trombone, which is really cool. If they didn't do that, they animated all of that. Wow, that's impressive. And then she lets him play so she can get an idea of what he can do. And then he gets into that zone. I swear to God, I literally started crying, like not boo-hoo crying, but like tears were just falling down my face because I miss playing the piano. I have a MIDI keyboard and I haven't been able to find the cable for it in a long while, but I remember when I was in school, they had these rooms for piano. And I would go in one of those rooms and just play the grand piano. And the same way he felt in this scene is the same way I felt. I closed my eyes and I was playing the piano and I just, oh my God, I just felt like I was somewhere completely different. And when I opened my eyes, I didn't even see that somebody else was, there were a few people standing. They'd come in the room at the top and they were just looking at me. And I'm just like, and then I guess they thought I was done, so they started clapping. It was like 5 people. I was so freaking embarrassed. But it was nice to see that portrayed here because that is something that musicians do go through. The music just takes you to this other dimension. It was always a great escape, and it really helped me get through my classes. See what I mean by his hands? Like, they look like somebody actually playing the piano. And I know you're gonna be like, well, Altiore, it's supposed to look like that because he is playing a piano. Yeah, but it doesn't look that's some smooth animation if they're doing that, but I really feel like it's mocap. This woman always looks like she wants to kill someone. It's like she's really hard to impress because she knows she's really good, but you can tell she goes to that place too, and then Joe goes to the place. Oh my God. Woo! Woo! Just goosebumps. Oh my God. Wow. Wow! So after he gets out of that zone, everyone is looking at him and they're like, you're hired. Why does that girl in the back look like Swanee from Fargo? I know, it's not giving you guys Swanee vibes. It's weird. Joe is ecstatic and he's running around and I feel so happy for him. He's so happy he's going to be able to perform with Dorothea Williams. And while he's on the phone talking about this, I swear to goodness, every bad thing that you think would happen to him and how he would die, there's like a million different ways, cars and everything. Like, you're like, okay, he's going to die. It was so much tension during the scene. And then that's not how he dies. He doesn't die from the most awful ways possible. He dies by falling through a freaking manhole. My one question when I saw this is, are manholes this deep? Please don't get nasty. I know some people are going to be like, I don't know, Altiore, are they? You know what I mean. And even still, at most, I thought he would just break his freaking legs, but I don't know. It just seems like an odd way to die, because you shouldn't die from that. Then he ends up in this place that's carrying him to this light, and he refuses to go there. Like, I understand how he feels, because if I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, no, I remember, I'm not supposed to die the way that you think I was supposed to die. I'm pretty okay. So he runs away, meets some other spirits, and he breaks through. I mean, don't they have, like, fail-safes for this? Then he falls into this beautiful, lush land, which is where they make personalities and people's souls to put them on Earth. What would have been even more interesting is if you find out later that there are other lands that people can go to. Like, Earth is not the only one, you know what I mean? This place is so beautiful, and we also got to see the guy from IT Crowd. I love Moss. You can hear his voice from like a mile away. You'll know that's him. Like, that's Moss! And I love this land, and each of these little buildings that they have is where they put in students or souls so that they can build as a person. Meanwhile, the people at the top realize that one of the souls is missing. After they get their spark, or the completion of their personality, these little things drop down to Earth. So he tries to hitch a ride, but unfortunately, trying to hitch a ride, trying to jump down himself, that does not work. No matter what he does, he can't get back to Earth and get back to his body. Eventually, the only way he finds out to do this is if he trains another soul who doesn't want to live at all to get her spark. Her name is 22.
It's a 22. Pew, pew, pew.
That's what I think about every time I see this. So since 22 doesn't want to live, and the only way she can get to live is if she has that little empty spot right there filled in, and Joe wants to get back to his life, they decide to work together. Joe uses her by posing as some other spirit. Nothing he shows her makes her interested in living. No passion, no nothing. for nothing at all. Even in the Hall of Everything, still 22 does not want to live. She doesn't find anything interesting in the least. We also meet the souls that are lost. And you don't have to be dead to be lost. I swear to God, this part was the scariest part in the whole freaking movie, my guy. They meet sign spinning guy, who's actually spinning on a sidewalk somewhere, but he taps into his chakra, I don't know, and he has an out-of-body experience and is able to come here in his zone.
Drumming, chanting, and meditating.
Yes, something like that.
Trying to go into his body is a whole ritual, but it all goes wrong.
His heart rate is increasing. I'll get the doctor.
The cat, by the way, is a therapeutic cat that this woman put in there to help patients get better. Oh boy.
It's my time.
Wait, not me!
Oh my God, I love it. 22 did not want to go to Earth. Remember this. She did not want a life here, and now she's stuck. But now Joe gets to be back in his body.
I did it. I'm back. What the?
Oh my God. You know how horrific that must be? Like, how convenient is it for him to fall into the cat while she falls into his body? And the whole movie is about 22 living his body and trying to get around as him, which a lot of movies have done before, but it's hilarious seeing the way that they execute this in this movie. This is why I could never live in Manhattan. Brooklyn is a different story. Like, where I lived, it wasn't like this, but I've gone to Manhattan a few times, and I swear to goodness, I felt like killing someone every few steps I took. After being in Joe's body for a while, 22 learns to love life when she tastes pizza for the first time.
Then I thought, it's loud and bright and... what is that in my nose?
That smell. And if you think that's good, just imagine what it tastes like.
This part cracked me up because we've been watching Food Wars, and it's an anime about food and what it does to people, and, you know, just you guys should just go give it a try. That's all I'm gonna say. But this scene kind of reminds me of that because when you taste something and it's so freaking good, this is exactly what you feel.
It's so good!
Bear in mind, everyone sees Joe as Joe and hears Joe as Joe. And hears Joe as a cat as a cat.
Then why am I in a cat?
I don't know!
Oh, I don't know why I thought that was the funniest part of the whole movie.
Oh, no.
Over time, 22 learns to love. Meanwhile, the higher-ups are looking for this lost soul to take him back. 22 actually finds her spark from living in a body on Earth. That's the only way she could do it, which is kind of a cheat way because everybody else has to get it before they go to Earth. She conveniently and accidentally gets into a body and then gets her spark there. She throws the badge at him, which can only be given to him once it's completed. Then she goes away and becomes a lost soul. When Joe goes back to Earth, he gets everything that he wanted, or at least what he thought he wanted. After he performs what is the best gig ever and the best night he's ever had, he feels empty afterwards. His mom had even come to support him. Being with 22, she ended up saying things that helped Joe get out of his shell and to accomplish what he really wanted. Standing up to his mom and letting her know that this was his passion and having that conversation that they were always supposed to have about how the mother felt as well. Now that Joe has attained this, he doesn't know where else to go from here. He reached his goal, now he seems empty. And in this way, he's also missing 22 and sees everything from her point of view because remember, she was in his body, so he also remembers what she saw. He remembered how much she loved life and how she appreciated all the little things. And I love this way that they did this, seeing things from her perspective, and Joe made a song about it. He went into that zone, took all of that emotion, and made a song so that he can end up back in the zone in order to reach 22, because he's not going to kill himself to get there. I swear this part made me cry because the music is so beautiful. And when you're emotional, like if you've never played an instrument, I know a lot of you probably have, but if you've never played an instrument, it is the most beautiful thing you could ever experience. I would tell you guys to learn to play one. I can't play the piano as well as he does. Like the trilling of the fingers, unless I memorize something. I can't even read music. But one thing, when I am feeling a certain way and I put some notes together, especially if I'm really emotional or I just went through something or I'm feeling trapped or abused or whatever, and I go on my piano and I start playing, everything that is inside me comes out in my music. It's like you take everything that you've interpreted from your sensations, feelings, and emotions, and you place it into song. And that's what he did here. The appreciation for life, the love that he felt, the newness that he feels seeing something through somebody else's eyes who's never lived before. And I really hope that they put out whatever soundtrack this is. I don't know if they will, but I hope they put out the soundtrack because, whew, man, the music just made me cry. It was so beautiful and I could feel everything he was feeling. And it's funny that they call this Soul because it is about souls, but he has so much soul. This entire movie has so much soul, so much meaning. He gets back to the zone and realizes what poor 22 had been going through all this time. All those voices that were telling her that she's not good enough, or what she was telling herself, or how she interpreted what everyone else was saying. She didn't think she was good enough to like anything or to live, which is why she never found a passion. And when she finally did, she tried to take Joe's body from him so that she could find his spark. And I was saying, man, that bitch is selfish. But she was already telling herself that. In the end, he ends up saving her. Not by some ritual, but by reaching to her. She melts away all of that bad stuff. Right there and then, she wants to live, and everyone saw how he was able to inspire this soul that nobody else could get to go to Earth. He sacrifices his life so that she can live. Hopefully her soul doesn't get crushed. He goes with her as far as he can go, and she feels ready enough to let go. And it's so beautiful. Now that she's ready, sadly, she lets go of Joe, who lets her know everything's gonna be okay. Aww. Because of this, Joe is given a second chance. And now Joe has a new appreciation for life. I think the show is really, really nice because people need to see this, especially if you're living in a city like New York, man. I mean, I can understand. I only visited Manhattan a few times. But after the initial wonder wore off with all the tall buildings and the sea of people, I realized that I was surrounded by a whole bunch of tall concrete buildings with no vegetation and in a sea of people. I couldn't imagine living there. It's too soul-crushing. I thought Brooklyn was bad, but Jesus Christ. But this is good for people living there, so if you're not an extrovert and you don't like all the stimulation, you can try to find the beauty in everything and just being grateful. One other thing I didn't understand, did he get a concussion? Because it doesn't look like anything's broken, and he fell feet first, so unless when he was falling he hit his head on something, there's no bandage, there's no nothing, like, and it's not that long that he was in the hospital, so why is he in the hospital? Unless, did he have like a seizure or a heart attack or something? Like, I'm so confused. Usually, even in cartoons, they let you know how you got hurt with what's bandaged up. But no, this guy is just nothing. Unless he's a friggin' X-Men and he healed at the speed of light. Anyways, I love Soul. I really enjoyed it. It was a great, great movie. And you know what? Great on you, Disney. Great on you for making something actually original. Sort of. So you guys are still on the fence trying to figure out whether or not it's worth a watch. It really is. It's a very feel-good film, and it did have some funny moments. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.